Hey guys, Fire here, and this is the full review of the massive, I repeat massive, Nokia Lumia 1520, 1 year later. So if you haven't seen my Nokia Lumia 1520 unboxing and camera test, then go check those videos out. The links are in the description. So this is the first time I have tried out a Windows phone. I gotta say, I was pretty impressed. So for this review, I will focus on just the phone alone in the beginning of the video, and near the end of the video, I will give you guys my thoughts on Windows Phone in general. Hope you guys enjoy, and make sure to comment if you have any questions. So let's start off with the design of the phone. This phone was built very well and looks and feels premium. Nothing on this device looks or feels cheap. Everything is just built well, and the crazy thing is it's not metal. This phone is plastic with a polycarbonate finish, which gives it that premium feel. The phone also stays fairly slim despite its massive size, and it also is surprisingly light as well. It has a massive 6-inch 1080p display, which we will get into more later. Since the screen is so big, they had to put the power button on the middle instead of the top of the phone. I really love this because it makes it a lot easier to turn the phone on. If it was on the top, then I surely would have to do some hand gymnastics. On the right of the phone, there is also a volume up and down button, which I wish was a little bit more tactile, but still gets the job done. There's also a shutter button, which is extremely useful when taking photos. On the left side of the phone, you get your micro SD card slot, and you also get your nano SIM slot. You will need a SIM ejector tool to access them, but they do provide it for you. On the top you have your headphone jack, and at the bottom you have your micro USB port. On the back you get the amazing 20 megapixel camera with a pure view Carl Zeiss lens and an LED flash. The camera and size are the main selling points of this phone, and I will make sure to highlight them in this video. Overall, a very premium design by Nokia, and really depends on you if you like how big it is or not. Now for one of the main reasons to get this phone, the camera. The camera on the Nokia Lumia 1520 is just awesome, hands down one of the best cameras on any phone. It has a 20 megapixel sensor, which is not as much as the Lumia 1020's 31 megapixels, but this is still a great camera. It takes amazing photos in almost all situations, and I have actually made a camera test of this phone if you would like to go more in depth and see some photo and video that this camera produces. The link to that video is in the description if you would like to see that later. Now for some more specs, it has a Carl Zeiss lens, which is one of the best lenses you can have, and it also is a pure view camera as well. This phone also shoots 1080p video at 30 frames per second. I wish it had the ability to shoot 4K, but keep in mind that this phone was made a year ago, so I can't complain. The camera also has a pretty good LED flash, which does help in low light situations. The camera on the Nokia Lumia 1520 is just a beast and should handle almost any situation you throw at it. Now we move on to what this phone is notorious for, the display. This phone has a 6-inch 1080p display with Gorilla Glass 2. This phone is bigger than almost all the phones on the market today, including your Galaxy S5, Note 3, and HTC One M8. A year ago when this phone was released, this screen size was unheard of, and really this phone lived up to the name phablet, because at this screen size it is right smack in between a phone and a tablet. An inch bigger and it's the same size as a tablet, and an inch smaller and it's the same size as pretty much most phones on the market right now. It's really up to the person whether this screen size is right for you. Some people say the screen is way too big, and others like the size of the screen. For me, I think the size of the screen is a bit too big and is kind of awkward when making calls, but I did get used to it for the time I've had it. The pixel density of this display is a whopping 367 ppi, and it's just beautiful. Everything on this phone is just so crisp and clear. Reading text is great, and I had no problems. Watching videos was a pleasing experience with a big display and amazing quality. I had a great time taking pictures and viewing images. This display is just great and can compete with any of today's flagships for sure. Viewing angles are also very good, and I'm just in awe of how good this display is. So you have a great camera and an amazing display. How does it do performance wise? Well, the Nokia Lumia 1520 also does well in specs. It is packing a quad-core 2.2 GHz Snapdragon processor with 2 GB of RAM and also an Adreno 330 GPU. So a year ago those specs were amazing, and even to this day it can't compete with the major flagships out there right now. Navigating the OS and browsing the web was a breeze, and I experienced no lag whatsoever. I really love the Windows phones for their UI because everything is just so smooth and the animations are great. Gaming on the Nokia Lumia 1520 was flawless, and I tried many games on this phone and I can't get this phone to lag. There is no game or app on the Windows Store that can actually put this phone to its limits, which is disappointing. This phone is just too powerful for anything on the Windows Store. It can basically run everything that Windows has to offer. The Windows App Store is definitely growing, but just not to the point where it should be yet. Right now, the most processor-intensive app is Asphalt 8, which I play all the time, and it still runs perfect on this phone. So when using this phone, you'll never have to worry about lag or stutter. This phone is also packing a 3400 mAh battery, which gives you more than a full day of heavy usage. This phone is just a powerhouse, but there is only one thing holding it back. Moving on to my final thoughts, the only thing holding this phone back is Windows itself. Don't get me wrong, Windows is getting better and better. It is the third largest app store, but still is lacking. The Windows App Store has every app you need, but not every app you want. It has all your main apps like Instagram, Twitter, Pandora, and Kick Messenger, but it is lacking a lot of the ones you want, like many games that you have come to know from Apple and Android. Major apps like Snapchat and YouTube are missing. Almost all Google apps were not to be found, which took some time getting used to coming from Android, but luckily there are replacement apps for them. For Snapchat, I found 6snap, which is a good replacement, and also almost identical to Snapchat. For YouTube, I found YouTube HD, which allowed me to watch YouTube in HD quality, but nowhere near what the official app would look like. Don't let this discourage you from getting this phone. This phone is still and it has an amazing display, great camera, great specs, and great battery life. What more can you want from a phone? If you can handle dealing with replacement apps for a while until Windows App Store catches up, then this is an amazing phone. On Amazon, I see it for around $500 unlocked, so not too bad for a phone like this. Thanks for watching this review, and subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll catch you in the next video.